Hello, Legacy students. Marsh here. So today we're going to talk about user input in Python and how to get this information. So first thing, what do I mean by a word of the user? And we kind of talked about this a little bit in class, but this is going to become even more important. So on the left, I have the programmer. So you guys are the programmer. You're the person that's writing the code. The user is the person who's actually running your program. So the user, when we talk user input, that is meaning that the person who's using your program is typing in information for you to use. So far, we have only written programs that kind of interact with a user in a one-way fashion. So I make a variable and I print the variable. The user isn't really able to put stuff into the program to make stuff work. All they do is click the run button and stuff happens, right? So we haven't had this ability to make the user actually interact with our program until today. So today we're going to make this a two-way street. We're going to learn how to make programs to ask the user for information. Something that looks like this, like enter your age, and then they're going to be able to enter their age, and then we're going to tell them a little information. In 1 year, you will be 33. So we're going to give them this information on that. When we're creating these programs using input, we need two things to accomplish this task. We need a way to retrieve what the user types, and we need a way to store what the user has typed. Now, we have the ability to store what the user types, known as variables. We've already talked about variables. So when the user gives us some kind of information, we can store it inside of our variables. The thing that we need to talk about today is how do you retrieve what the user types in? So we need to figure out how do you accomplish that task. Thus, the input function was given to us. So the input function that it's going to print a prompt for you and it's going to retrieve the text from the user. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So this in my program is the general faction of what it's going to look like. The input function is when you want to retrieve text from the user. So what's going to happen on my program, oh, that's weird. There we go. What's going to happen in my program is, so this is my console right here. What's going to pop up is, what is your name? So right here, this is what one would call a prompt. We call it a prompt because we're prompting the user for information. If you just had nothing there and you're waiting for them to type in something, the user wouldn't know what to type in. It's kind of like when you're on the login page for an app and it says username beside something. The username is the prompt. It's asking you what to type in. So we're asking them, what is your name? And we're going to wait for the user to type in a word or their name. So something like, let's say their name is Jim. Okay, so what's going to happen is Jim will be placed, because this entire thing right here will be replaced with Jim. So what will happen in the memory of the computer is it will assign name to Jim. Okay, and then we'll print Jim to my console. So input allows us to get the information from the user so that we can use it in our program later. So here's my example. I got name equals input, and then I put for my prompt name, and then we printed the name. So we got name. Notice right here, the computer is waiting for the user to type in. They typed in Lisa. So what's going to happen is this replaced with Lisa. And I assigned name inside of the memory, Lisa. So I was able to print the variable name, aka I was told print Lisa. Here's another example. So I got age equals input age, print type age. So what's going to happen in the console is we're going to say, hey, what's your age? Let's say they type in a number of 15, right? So what's going to happen is age is going to be assigned 15. I'll print age. So we'll print 15. Now, when I'm type that variable, remember type function allows you to tell you what kind of type of variable it is. Now, you're probably going to be very tempted to say, well, Marsh, that's an int, ain't it? It's a number. But here's the problem with the input function, okay? He is going to say that this is a class str. Okay? Input functions can only take in strings or str data type. Okay? Now, that doesn't seem like that bad because I'm just putting out 15. But let's say you wanted to take that 15 and you wanted to, I don't know, add something to it. I can't add 15 plus 1 because 15 is a string. So it actually doesn't understand that that 15 means 15 of something. It doesn't understand the number is 15. It just sees that as some characters, some scribbles that it's storing. So we need to have the ability that if you take in a number that you wish to work with, so I mean mathing with it, you need to use what's known as the int function to make it an int variable type. So right here, I got number equals int. Notice this is me doing the function of int, and then I put that inside of input number. Okay, now what's happening here? They are going to type in a number, let's say 15. String or 15 would be a string coming from the input, okay? And then I'm going to int that 15, aka I'm going to make it a number. So number will become a type of int, and it will actually have the number 15 stored in it, not the string version of 15. Thus, I can print the number. So like number, they typed in 22. It goes in here. It would be quotations 22 coming from input. I int that, so I get 22 in number. I added 1 to it. I am able to print 23. And this is us talking a little bit again. Let me explain what's happening here. So when you type in the into Python or any programming language, what ultimately happens is you start as far into the parentheses as possible and then work your way out. So we're going to first start with this. That's what Python would start with. So he's going to print the input, the prompt number to the screen and wait for the input. They're going to type in, let's say 13. So then what happens inside of the computer, you don't get to see it in your code, but what happens is 13 would take its place of input number because that's what they inputted. Int then is going to change that string into an actual number data type. Then only will 13 be stored inside of number inside of our computer's memory. This can also be super useful in case someone types something that's not a number in there. So let's say someone types in the word 13, like THIRTEN, okay? That would give you a 0 if you use the int function. It protects you as a programmer from someone typing something silly in. And that's a common thing. It's almost called dummy proofing a program. We try to make it so that the program is unbreakable as we're making our programs. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later, Sabers.